In this episode, you'll discover 3 signs you may be in the in-between phase of a career transition and why that may mean you're not as lost as you think. Welcome to the Midlife Reinvention Podcast, a podcast helping women in career and life transitions achieve clarity on their next steps so they can transform uncertainty into an energizing next chapter. I'm your host, Kavita Ahuja, and the founder of It's My Time Now Coaching. If you're wondering what's next in your career or life, you are in the right place. Through solo and guest episodes, you'll gain practical tips, tools, and inspiration to help you uncover blocks, gain confidence, and be, do, and have what you want. I rediscovered myself after the age of 50, and I know you can too. It's my time now to help you do just that. I'm so excited you're here. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome back to another mini episode of the Midlife Reinvention Podcast. Today, I'd like to offer you a shorter reflection that builds on the last episode, because one of the hardest parts of a career transition is often not just the uncertainty itself, but not really understanding where you are in the process. And when you do not understand where you are, it becomes very easy to make it mean something about you. You start thinking that maybe you are behind, maybe you are more confused than you should be. Maybe you are being indecisive, or maybe you are just not handling this well. So today I want to give you 3 signs that you may be in what I call the in-between phase of a career transition. And for each one, I want to give you something small you can actually do with it. This is a phase where your old career identity no longer fits the way it used to, but the next chapter is not fully clear yet. It is uncomfortable, yes, but it is also a very real and very important part of the process. The first sign is that you keep going back and forth. One day you feel quite clear. You think, this is not working anymore. I really do need to make a change. Then the next day, or sometimes even the next hour, you are talking yourself out of it. Maybe I should just stay. Maybe I'm overthinking this. Maybe this is just stress. Maybe I just need to be more grateful. That back and forth can make you feel inconsistent, but in my experience, it often means something else. Usually it means one part of you already knows something has shifted, while another part of you is trying to hold on to what feels safe, familiar, responsible, or financially sensible. So if this is happening for you, I would try to not judge it so quickly. A more helpful question would be, what feels true when I am calm, not just when I'm scared? And one very practical thing you can do is to start writing down what comes up on both sides. When you have a moment of clarity, jot down what feels true, and when the fear comes in, jot that down too. Not to solve it right away, but to start seeing the patterns. Because often the back and forth is not random at all. It is a tension between what you know and what you are afraid of. The second sign is that you keep looking for answers, but nothing really lands. You may be doing all the things a thoughtful person would do. You might be listening to podcasts, reading articles, scrolling job postings, updating your resume, exploring programs, or asking yourself over and over, what should I do next? And yet nothing quite clicks. That can be very frustrating, because it feels like you're making an effort, but not getting anywhere. Very often, though, that is because the real work is not just about finding the next role. It is about understanding yourself more deeply first. If the old fit is gone, then the old way of choosing may not work anymore either. So instead of only asking, what job should I do next? It can be much more useful to ask, what am I learning about myself through this discomfort? And here's one practical way to work with that this week. Set aside 10 quiet minutes and write down your answers to these questions. What parts of my current work drain me the most? What still feels meaningful, if anything? What strengths do I enjoy using, not just the ones I'm good at? And what do I want more of in my life right now? That kind of self-reflection helps you stop chasing random answers and starts helping you build real self-understanding, which is where better decisions actually come from. The third sign is that your energy is telling you something before your mind is ready to admit it. Sometimes your mind is still trying to explain things away, but your energy is already telling the truth. You may notice that you feel heavy before the day even starts. You may notice that your energy drops fast once you're in your workday, or maybe it is more subtle than that. You feel flatter than usual, less interested, less creative, less like yourself. That matters. Because one of the mistakes people make is assuming that if they're still functioning, everything must be basically okay. Sometimes you can keep doing the same job and meeting expectation and still be deeply drained by it. So here, the question I would sit with is this. What is my energy trying to tell me that I keep overriding? And a very simple practice for this is to spend 2 minutes at the end of each workday noticing two things. What gave me energy today? And what took my energy away? That's it. Over just a few days, you may begin to see patterns that you have been too busy to notice. And those patterns matter because it can show you where you're living in more catabolic energy, where you're bracing, coping, and just getting through, and where there may be room for more anabolic energy, where you feel more open, engaged, and like yourself. So what do you do with all of this? If you recognize yourself in any of these signs, I want to leave you with one question to sit with this week. What is my current career asking me to tolerate that I no longer want to tolerate? Just sit with that. You do not need to solve your whole life with it. You do not need to force a big decision with it. You are simply listening more honestly. Maybe it's the pace or the environment. Maybe it's a lack of meaning. Maybe it's the overgiving. Maybe it's the version of yourself you have had to become in order to keep staying. Whatever comes up, let it be information, because that is really what this phase is all about. It's not just about waiting for clarity to magically arrive. It's about paying attention to what is already becoming clear. And very often, the next chapter starts there. If this is where you are right now, I hope this helps you feel a little less alone with it and a little less hard on yourself. You may not be behind. You may not be as confused as you think. You may be simply in a phase that is asking you to listen more closely than you ever have before. And if you want support with that, if you want a place to sort through what is shifting and what your next chapter could look like, you can book a clarity call with me through the link in the show notes. Until then, take good care, my friend, and I'll see you next time.